tonight. Beauval evacuees try to stay positive as wildfires threaten their community. A fourth person has been charged in a Regina June homicide. And an increase in gophers has farmers in a bind.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. As wildfires force hundreds from their homes in the northwest part of the province, some evacuees are trying to stay positive despite the uncertainty. As CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, strong winds and hot, dry weather are sparking more concerns over the wildfires that are threatening Beauval.
Mary Botrell was on an annual camping trip with her sisters, about 4 hours from home, when she heard Beauval was being evacuated. There was no time to go back and grab her things.
We came here because now we can't get back home. The roads are closed.
Now Botrell and her sisters are staying in Saskatoon until they can return home. She says she worries for her sons who are still in Beauval, but she's hopeful the fire won't reach the community.
They have a lot of firefighters there that came in from all over to help. So we're good, I think.
Beauval resident Barb Laux, also sheltering in Saskatoon, she says she left everything behind.
If we lose it, we lose it. We have our lives. That's all that matters.
The village of Beauval is currently being threatened by the Muskeg fire, which spans roughly 34,000 hectares, or nearly double the size of Regina. The Dory fire is also a concern. The mayor of Beauval estimates it's about 13 kilometers from the community.
We're not out of the woods. It's like a horseshoe of fires around Beauval.
The village of Beauval has extended its state of emergency until July 18th, saying warmer weather and shifting winds over the next few days make the fires unpredictable.
We can't let people back into the community until we're out of danger for those fires, because they can travel in one day.
Rick Laliberty says the community needs a strong rainfall. One meteorologist says while there's nothing significant in the forecast at this time, that can change.
Not seeing any substantial rainfall systems on the horizon. But in the summer season, we can still get some pretty good rainfall amounts from thunderstorms. As
of Tuesday afternoon, there are 68 wildfires burning in the province. 15 are not contained. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A fourth person has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of Aaron Lunan. The 35-year-old's body was found on June 10th in a rural area near Grand Coulee. Today, 37-year-old Kayla Mitten was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Last week, Regina police charged 3 other people, 24-year-old Britton Volk, 30-year-old Patrick Kakapoo, and 38-year-old Tyler Wayne Edwards. Mitten will make her first court appearance on these charges tomorrow morning. This afternoon, Regina police were investigating a motor vehicle collision involving a pedestrian in the parking lot, a pedestrian on a bike, at the Al Ritchie Community Center on the 2200 block of Lindsay Street. Details are scarce at this moment, but police are asking the public to avoid the area. Also, this morning, Regina police asked motorists to avoid the Ring Road at Albert Street South after a semi-rollover in the eastbound lane of Highway 1, as well as the east exit ramp from Albert Street. The semi was removed and traffic did resume later on in the afternoon. A group of clinicians who treat cancer patients is launching a new platform to raise awareness and expand access to cancer care. The Cancer Clinician Advocacy Forum is a network of pharmacists, nurses, physicians from across Canada. The group identified 3 main priorities for cancer care: expanding access to diagnostic testing, faster and more equitable access to therapies, and improved efficiencies in patient care, and addressing human resource constraints. Now, the idea started in 2023 when a group of clinicians produced a formal report highlighting their frustration with funding and approval delays of optimal new therapies for patients in Canada.
That's essentially where the Grassroots Foundation developed from, and then became this Cancer Clinician Advocacy Forum that we are launching this week. And essentially it's comprised of not just cancer clinicians, but also nurses and pharmacists who are dedicated to cancer care across Canada. And really our goal is to improve equitable access and optimal care for patients across our country, no matter which postal code they reside in.
Manna, who is from Saskatoon, says the next step for the group is to meet with provincial and federal health ministers to form alliances and relationships. CTV News did reach out to the province for comment, but did not hear back before broadcast. Saskatchewan farmers have been dealing with a number of issues this growing season, with drought impacting almost all areas. Another big disturbance across the board is the rise in gopher numbers. Mick Beauval tells us about a new program looking to get a handle on the situation.
Wade Proby is inspecting a section of his land now overrun by gophers. It's an issue growing by the day and is leaving him wondering what options he has to fix the problem.
They're a pest that is, they're cute to look at, but what they do is they can cause destruction to property inside our buildings. They tear apart bags of seed. Again, I'm scared to drive my vehicle in some cases through over some of the property.
Across the province, from Lloydminster to Oxbow, escalating gopher populations have been reported, which has grabbed the attention of the Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation. So much so, they are now creating a program to stop the rodents from eating up one of our biggest resources.
Their population's always been very cyclical, so it's not like we haven't experienced this before, but it seems to be on the increase here over the last 2 or 3 years. Certainly, that would be supported by the number of claims or the dollar figure of claims coming from Saskatchewan Crop Insurance.
The SWF has received hundreds of calls from those dealing with the issue and from those who want to help. They are hoping landowners call in to have their area accounted for if gophers are spotted nearby. On his farm south of Regina, Proby says he has tried poisons in the past, but birds were impacted. He plans on reaching out to the Wildlife Federation.
They're a pest, and we're trying to control them, and every farmer has the same problem, so we'll just keep dealing with them in certain areas. But hopefully, municipalities will come up with other solutions, maybe a catch and release program. You can catch 20 at a time. I don't know. But then where do you put them?
All moves to get the gophers under control are planned to be done in a responsible and ethical manner. Mick Beauval, CTV News, south of Regina.
All right, let's take a look at weather conditions for the first time in the 6 o'clock news. Angela Stewart joining us. And Angela, not a bad day across Saskatchewan today. It will definitely get a lot hotter, though, tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely, Lee. So we're going to be seeing those warm temperatures continue for the next couple of days, with some reprieve expected by the end of Thursday, heading into Friday. So really a good start for that 7 o'clock kickoff game between the Riders and Calgary on Friday. But nonetheless, we are still seeing those excessive heat warnings largely sticking to the southwest part of the province there. All that pink on your screen, it's reaching in from Alberta, really stretching right across the south part of the province. There we are still seeing those air quality statements in the north due to those wildfires. Temperature-wise, what I can tell you is that we are well above our average. I believe our average around this time of year is around that 24, almost 25 mark. We're currently sitting at 27 degrees. Like I said, those warm temps are really going to continue for the next couple of days. Looking quickly here at our average around that time of year. This time of year is 25 degrees. We reached a high of 27, but more details are coming up. Lee?
Thank you, Angela. Go Fish can refer to a few things, from a card game to something you might want to try this weekend. As Brittany Poitras tells us, July 12th and 13th, residents can fish without a license.
This weekend, Saskatchewan is reeling in anglers of all ages from July 12th to the 13th. The province will host its 36th annual free fishing weekend, inviting anyone to cast a line without a license on public waters. Since 1986, this event has allowed both seasoned fishers and beginners to try their luck on Saskatchewan lakes and rivers. For many, it's not just about the catch. Jason Matady, who's been fishing for 45 years, says it's a mental wellness retreat.
When you are younger, it's kind of something to do, I guess. As the time has gone on, I do it for mental wellness, to be honest with you, to get out in nature and see, the birds, hopefully have a chance to catch a fish. And
it's clear that the free fishing weekend offers something for all skill levels to look forward to all year long.
You mentioned it's an opportunity to go out and not have to commit to purchasing a license and just getting that experience. I do want to remind everybody that the regulations still apply, so you do still have to follow limits and size restrictions on water bodies where you're going. And I'd encourage everybody to get familiar with the angling guide.
For beginners who want to try a truly free fishing experience, the Saskatchewan Fish Hatchery in Bethsaida is offering free rentals of tackle boxes and rods.
I think the weekend is a good opportunity for people who are just thinking about taking up the hobby. For beginners, they don't have to buy a license, so they can actually give it a shot. And if they like it, then maybe they'll purchase a license.
Whether you're a lifelong fisherman or just looking for a fun way to spend the weekend, Free Fishing Weekend has something for everyone. Brittany Poitras, CTV News, Regina.
There's been a last-minute change to the lineup at Country Thunder, Saskatchewan.
Brother, I ain't trying to start no fight. Ain't what you want to hear on a Friday night. I know she's got you in a love-drunk whirlwind. But man to man, nobody likes your girlfriend.
Nate Smith says he's not ready to perform yet. Doctors had put him on strict vocal rest for the month of June. Now he's been forced to cancel his next 4 shows, which includes Country Thunder. The festival says they'll have news on a replacement soon. The Regina International Film Festival and Awards will be back for its 10th anniversary. News conference this morning at the Cornwall Centre highlighted the festival's history and what to expect starting on August the 13th. 103 films have been selected to be screened at RIFA this year. Those films come from 76 countries and represent 26 languages. There are also about a dozen movies from Saskatchewan, and 5 of those have been nominated for an award. The cultural diversity of the movies will allow Regina audiences to have a glimpse into other parts of the world.
As our community is expanding with the diversity, we are an organization can contribute into the scene that to help other people to understand how things happens and how stories evolves in other part of the world, which is a part of understanding each other and understanding different perspectives, and stories help.
The festival runs from August 13th until the 23rd.
Greetings, everyone. The Nawo-Utina Friendship Center is well known for helping those most in need. But aside from offering life-saving resources in central Regina, they are also helping people in the city get connected with Indigenous culture and knowledge only available outside city limits. Staff and clientele of the Nawo-Utina Friendship Center took a field trip out of Regina to learn how to cut and smoke moose meat. The group of about a dozen met on Standing Buffalo, Dakota Nation, where the process has been an annual tradition going back hundreds of years.
It's important for the urban setting to learn these things, because there's a lot of the urbans really want to learn the traditional way of life, right? So by having this type of group and bringing them here is a warm feeling.
The Nawo-Utina Friendship Center has been offering this type of programming for a number of years, getting the people they serve connected and learning Indigenous culture and practices. For Tiffany Redmond, it's a full circle moment, teaching others what was once taught to her.
It has really helped me in my life to reconnect with the land and our traditions, and I want to be able to pass that feeling along to other people.
The Friendship Center staff were also getting in on the learning.
Growing up, I didn't have any of these resources, and so with the Friendship Center, I feel like I have the privilege to be at all of these programs. So I feel like I'm gaining a lot of knowledge from this.
The process of smoking meat was once used to prolong the life of the meat. The people on Standing Buffalo and surrounding tribes kept the smoked meat for the winter months on the prairies. For the workshop, a smokehouse was used to speed up the process, but organizers say it can still all be done with just the materials found on the nation if needed. A large portion of the day was filled with working and learning, with the rest filled with smiles, laughs, and making connections. It's something organizers hope people take home and coming back again.
Doing the seriousness of what we're doing and also laughing with that good energy, hey?
It creates positive vibes.
Yeah, it does. It create. Look at it's just positive here, and all the kids playing and wanting to help. So that's very important for our people.
The Nawo-Utina Friendship Friendship Center plans to continue hosting events like these.
Thanks to the...
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Still ahead, 4 men, including a few armed forces members, are charged with forming an anti-government militia. And a look at the search for survivors from flash floods in Texas. We're learning today about a conspiracy uncovered by RCMP. A few active members of the Canadian Armed Forces are accused of trying to start an anti-government militia motivated by violent extremism. 4 men are facing charges. CTV's Mike Couture has the details.
We know that 2 of the accused are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Now, police allege 3 of the 4 have been planning to create a militia. And according to the charges, the plan was to forcibly take possession of land in the Quebec City area. With 83 guns and accessories, about 11,000 rounds of ammunition, and smoke grenades, police believe the group was ready to do something serious. A search in January of 2024 also turned up 4 pairs of night vision goggles and military equipment.
The fact that we could charge with facilitating a terrorist activity, that it means that people were actually preparing, were taking actions that led us to believe that they wanted to actually achieve something and wanted to commit this violent terrorist acts.
The RCMP has charged 4 people, and the Department of National Defence confirms 2 of them are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Matthew Forbes faces charges related to possession of firearms. Marc-Auriel Chabot, Simon Anger Odette, and Raphaël Lagacé are all facing charges related to facilitating terrorist activity. The terrorism charges span a period between 2021 and 2024 in Montreal, Quebec City, Petawawa, and Ralston, Ontario. Lagacé's friend of 12 years is shocked at the accusation that he would be trying to create an anti-government militia. It's quite the contrary, actually. He's very pro-government, very pro-monarchy, says the friend. The police say one of the accused created and ran this Instagram account, which was a recruiting tool for new members of the militia.
As soon as they start talking about seizing land, this goes to me to, I think about some of the militias operating in the United States that set up strongholds, areas where the federal government can't go, and try to really keep out law enforcement.
The 4 accused made a brief court appearance this afternoon in Quebec City, and all of them will remain in custody until their next court date, July 14th. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
2 pilots are dead following a mid-air crash between 2 planes near Steinbach, Manitoba today.
The 2 pilots were pronounced deceased on scene. There were no passengers aboard.
RCMP were notified of the crash around 8:45 in the morning. RCMP, as well as fire and emergency medical officials, located the wreckage of the 2 small single-engine aircrafts south of Steinbach. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada has been notified of the crash. U.S. President Donald Trump plans to introduce tariffs on pharmaceuticals coming into the country, which could reach 200%. Trump signaled his intention during a meeting with his cabinet at the White House today, but says he's willing to give drug makers a year to, quote, get their act together. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told CNBC that details on a pharmaceutical tariffs would come at the end of the month. The administration launched an investigation into the pharmaceutical industry in April. Families in Texas are getting the devastating news their loved ones did not survive the floods and are now among the more than 100 people confirmed dead. We are hearing stories of heroism, but also the challenging circumstances rescuers are dealing with right now. CTV's Adrian Gabriel with the latest with the treacherous rescue conditions and the testy exchanges over accountability.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
This video from Camp La Junta shows a cabin ripped from its foundation, floating down the Guadalupe River. Attending the camp, brothers Braden and Brock Davis, who credit their counselors with saving their lives.
Our bed starting tipping over, and like we got to the top really quick.
I want my world to know the Lord of love has come
As campers sing a hymn, a passenger on board this evacuation bus realizes the level of devastation.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
These young girls were rescued from Camp Mystic, where more than 24 have been confirmed dead. The National Weather Service issued their first public warning at 1:14 a.m. on the 4th of July. The Kerr County Sheriff admitting that he wasn't aware of the fast approaching surge until at least 3 hours later.
When I was first notified, it was around the 4 to 5 area. One of my sergeants was in dispatch when the first calls started coming in, the actual 911 calls come in.
Though officials today declined to answer whether a local emergency manager notified authorities of the incoming flash flood.
We will get answers. Right now, all of our resources are focused to recovery.
With the chance of any further rescues fading with each passing hour, hope in Central Texas is turning to heartache over the precious lives swept away. During a cabinet meeting today, President Donald Trump praised the quick deployment of state and federal rescue crews, saying that without them, the number of dead could have doubled or even tripled. Trump confirming that he will be traveling to survey the natural disaster zone in Texas this Friday. Adrian Gobrel, CTV News, Washington.
A grand welcome by King Charles as French President Emmanuel Macron begins a 3-day state visit. It is the first official state visit by a European leader since Brexit in 2020. The meeting is seen as a symbolic reset as the two nations face a multitude of economic and security threats. Prior to his arrival, Macron has said there is much the two countries can build together. And the scoring temperatures across parts of Europe forced one of the continent's most visited ancient sites to close.
We actually saw one man up there who had passed out because of the heat and they had to get the medics in. So, yeah, it's very, very hot at the moment.
Greece temporarily shut down the Acropolis this afternoon. The decision made for the safety of workers and visitors as temperatures were set to soar past 40 degrees. Coming up, several Indigenous duos are looking to win the Amazing Race Canada, including a woman from Saskatchewan.
Take a trip with us to Canada's most notorious city. I still call it the Friendly City. Mayor James Murdoch joins us in the morning with an update on all things Moose Jaw.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
Welcome back. Well, we've had a decent day in terms of temperatures and conditions. We had lots of blue skies and lots of sunshine really right across the province. But for the Regina area today, our expected high was around that 27 mark. It's currently where we are sitting at. We did actually reach a high of 28 today. But looking ahead, we'll get into that in just a second. Through our radar satellite, we are still seeing these excessive heat warnings really covering the southwest part of the province in from Alberta, stretching right across. Looks like it is starting to move further over into the east, but nonetheless, bringing with that excessive heat is those really warm temperatures. We are also still seeing these air quality statements due to those northern wildfires. That does remain, but nonetheless, what we can expect, we will start to see a little bit of moisture in the form of rain starting, I would say, probably late tomorrow. So let's get into that now. The wind might pick up a little bit, but this is where that rain is going to start around 6 p.m. tomorrow. Really sticking to the southwest part of the province. That system will then move. And then another system really sticking here. Looks like it's going to stay between north of Swift Current and up into Saskatoon, the central part of the province. Dark green and the yellow could suggest a bit of a thunderstorm. So a risk of a thunderstorm, keep that in mind, bringing with that rain. And then that'll move over, excuse me, into the east part of the province in the Parkland region, Wynyard area north of Yorkton. And then this is where Regina will see some of that after it begins in the southwest part of the province. So we'll see more rain here, largely sticking to Swift Current and Maple Creek, and heavier rain in the south part of the province there, just west of Assiniboia. So that's where we could see a bit of a thunderstorm, and then that system will move, and then this is where Regina will see that system. So it's really going to be sticking here come early Thursday evening. That system will then make its way over into the east, so it's really stretching right across the south part of the province, starting in the southwest, central, and into the east. So Estevan will see could see a risk of a thunderstorm by late Thursday evening there, and then Regina is expected to see more rain early Friday morning. That system will then clear out, and then we could see a little bit of rain by early Friday morning there by 8 a.m. So keep that in mind. Here's a quick look at what we can expect in terms of those rainfall totals. Estevan really seeing the most, 23 for the southwest part of the province, southeast, excuse me. Maple Creek about 13 millimeters, for us here in Regina about 10 millimeters. So when we're talking about our temperatures and what we can expect overnight, temperatures are going to remain above around that seasonal average for our lows, and then double-digit temperatures expected for tomorrow. A little cooler in Lloydminster, 22, mostly cloudy. A little further south, seeing plus 30 in Saskatoon, 31, 34 for Yorkton, and 26 for North Battleford, 34, 33 for Maple Creek, Swift Current, and Moose Jaw. For the southeast part of the province, 35 right across the board expected for tomorrow, so lots of sunshine expected. And then for us here in Regina, down to 17 degrees, so still going to be quite warm overnight, and then up to 32 expected for tomorrow. Wind's going to remain fairly calm, reaching about 30 kilometers an hour. Looking ahead to what we can expect for the next 7 days, up to 32, like I said. So tomorrow is looking like it's going to be the last day where those extreme warm temperatures are. Keep in mind, we aren't in that excessive heat warning. Kicking off Country Thunder Craven there, 24 degrees expected for Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, and then game day on Friday here, 23, mix of sun and cloud. Kickoff is at 7. Riders taking on the Calgary Stampeders. So these temperatures are going to remain fairly consistent. We'll see a little bit of a warm up there on Saturday, 27, and then down to 24. So this is sticking within that seasonal average, which is around that 24 mark. And then this time next week, 23 degrees expected for Monday, Tuesday there. So tomorrow is really kind of, or Thursday, excuse me, is really the last day where we're going to see most of that heat.
All right, but tomorrow is going to be a really hot day. So, 35 degrees, Estevan, Assiniboia.
Yeah,
that's a hot one.
Quite warm.
Yep. So be careful if you're outside. Thank you, Angela.
Thanks.
Well, the Amazing Race Canada is back on CTV. Season 11 premieres tonight at 9 o'clock with one woman from Saskatchewan competing. She's actually one of 6 Indigenous people chasing the $250,000 cash prize. Laura Woodward has more.
Welcome to Season 11 of The Amazing Race Canada.
The Amazing Race Canada is back with duos taking on challenges across the country. 6 contestants this season are Indigenous, the most in the show's history.
We're the Rebeccas. We are besties, soul sisters, and roommates.
Rebecca Watt is from Pezaki First Nation in the Northwest Territories, and Rebecca Morasti is from Saskatchewan's Flying Dust First Nation.
We didn't grow up seeing people that look like us, other than, Pocahontas in Disney's movie, which obviously isn't the greatest representation.
Now known as the Rebeccas, the duo says representation was a driving force behind joining the race.
That was such a big motivating factor for us, having, those little eyes look up at us and be like, hey, they kind of look like us, we can do that too, kind of thing. And just encouraging youth to really go for it, go for what they want.
This season also marks the first time the series will reach the Arctic Ocean. Teams are competing for a trip around the world, 2 2025 Chevrolet Blazers, and a $250,000 cash prize. Season 11 kicks off in Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium.
Go!
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, a bull rider from Leader, Saskatchewan has been the leader on the scoreboard at the Calgary Stampede.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Riders on the field for the second time this week preparing for the Calgary Stampeders. Receivers Samuel Emelis and Sean Bain Jr. were limited once again. Tomorrow might be a better indicator if they will play on Friday. Defensively, A.J. Allen has stepped up after a long-term injury. Sideline starting week side linebacker C.J. Avery. Jacob Carr has his story.
While A.J. Allen understands the intricacies of being a CFL linebacker, rules of the Canadian Elite Basketball League is a different story. Allen and his girlfriend attended a Saskatchewan Rattlers game during the bye week, and the target score rules left him dumbfounded.
It was target score 81, and it was 78 to 80, but there was 4 minutes left in the fourth. So what do you mean? And then it became 80 to 80, and he said next bucket wins. I said, what do you mean? There's 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They scored, everybody started leaving.
As much as that basketball game befuddled him on the gridiron, Allen has thrived in his starting linebacker role, taking over for an injured C.J. Avery. In Week 4, Allen led the team in tackles with 7.
But I think what I'm trying to focus on as my development as a starter is just not being satisfied, right? I'm trying to improve every game, and I'm trying to be great. So that looks like just constantly working on things.
The level of play that Allen has shown early on in the season as a member of the defensive unit comes as no shock to head coach Corey Mace.
You know, obviously, we all know what the kind of player that he proved to be last year in special teams, and now getting the nod on defense. And, you know, he's been doing a really good job for us, and I think he's only going to get better with more reps, just like anybody else would.
Allen credits his success to being a student of the game and paying attention to the little details to be in the right spots on the field at the right time.
I'm not trying to make 15 tackles in a game, right? We're trying to get our hands on the football, force fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, deflections, things like that. Focusing on the details to put me in position to make those plays.
Allen will have to be on his P's and Q's on Friday night as the Riders play host to Vernon Adams Jr., Dedrick Mills, and the Calgary Stampeders. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A Saskatchewan bull rider is dominating the competition halfway through the Calgary Stampede.
Up until this point, that's been great. He's done that way, but I'm curious to see how that shoulder's feeling today. But he's doing a good job. You see how that bull pulled him in there? He's going to sit up there, and now he's just going to go at him and show off a little bit.
Leader Saskatchewan's Grady Young with the top score for the second straight day today and has now won more than $14,000 already. He got an 87 riding Shake It Off, qualifying him for Sunday's final on Monday. He scored a career-high 91 riding Splash Tide. Just 19 years old, he is one of the top bull riders in Canada. Former U of R Cougar women's basketball coach Dave Taylor was on our morning show today talking about his resignation and new job with UBC. He says it's nice to leave on his own terms and pass the torch to assistant Michaela Kleisinger, who will be the Cougars' interim head coach next year. As for his time in Regina, it will be an experience he'll never forget.
I would say it's not even just the Cougars. Like, it's 32 years with them, but I was a high school coach at Sheldon Williams for a long time. I did a lot of provincial team coaching. Just the memories of, you know, it's gone by quick, but I remember literally where my first few years, we were terrible. Like, we were being outscored by Sandra Carroll of the Winnipeg Westmen. Like, we had to call a timeout so we didn't lose to one player. To then, you know, the highs of winning a national title as an assistant and being in national finals and things, you know, never forget about the hosting nationals, the 3 times we hosted nationals, and just the crowd support. And I've said this forever. The great thing about coaching in Regina is so many people care about the program, and then I've been so fortunate with the, you know, the players and the other coaches. Just those relationships through the years has been special.
A big day today for middle school and high school athletes, with the Royal Canadian Legion Saskatchewan Command hosting their 58th provincial track and field camp. 174 athletes competing in this year's 5-day summer camp. 36 of those athletes qualifying at the National Track and Field Championship in Calgary this August. It is a big opportunity for some athletes from rural Saskatchewan as well, with some traveling as far as 10 hours to get to Regina. The Queen City is also set to host the 2026 and 2027 Nationals.
Still want to keep improving, throwing farther and getting better, improving my technique. I'm hoping to go to school on maybe a scholarship or like doing it in the future and not just like in school or club and like going to like university or college for it.
My dream is always to go to the Olympics. It's been a dream of mine since I started the sport, and I believe I can do so, and attending school in the States would be a really big goal of mine.
Still to come, Kipling looks to mark the 20-year anniversary of the red paperclip trade deal.
back. Well, we've been talking about the story of warm temperatures reaching well above plus 20, even reaching plus 30 in some areas. So let's get into that now, focusing on our rural forecast for tomorrow. So many places really across the board going to be seeing well above that seasonal average. Lloydminster, a little cooler, 23 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Also the same for Meadow Lake, 24. 26 for Spiritwood, Melfort, and Hudson Bay, all mostly cloudy conditions. Kindersley, same picture, 31 degrees in Wynyard, though. So lots of sunshine really across the board. A little further south, that is the same picture, plus 30, depending on where you are. Maple Creek, 35 degrees, mostly sunny conditions. A mix of sun and cloud in East End Cypress and Rock Glen, Coronach, reaching about 37. So it's going to be quite warm. So only a couple more days of these really warm temperatures, and we are still seeing that excessive heat warning in the southwest part of the province. So that's why those temperatures are so warm. Do take precautions, though, if you are going to be out in this heat. Lots of sunscreen, and make sure to drink lots of water. So focusing on Strasbourg, which is about 90 kilometers northwest of Regina. Tomorrow, winds fairly calm, 45 kilometers an hour, lots of sunshine, 31 degrees the expected high.
Marks 20 years since a young man from Montreal embarked on a mission to trade a red paperclip for a house. It took about 14 trades over the next year before he achieved his goal by taking ownership of a house in Kipling. As Wayne Mantika tells us, the community is now making plans to mark an event that brought them worldwide attention.
Jennifer Edwards is driving from Ontario to British Columbia and stopping at roadside attractions along the way.
And I looked online to see what unique monuments were on the way, and this was one of them. So I came down to check it out and go, cool.
In July of 2005, Kyle McDonald from Montreal set out to trade a red paper clip for a house. He made 14 online deals before Kipling offered the final trade that he was looking for.
And I happened to have a wonderful bunch of counselors who basically said, this sounds weird enough, it just might work.
The town owned a house on Main Street, which it traded for a part in a movie produced by Corbin Burnson.
He did the official trade, and he was very excited, as was his girlfriend, Dominique.
McDonald and his girlfriend stayed only briefly before giving the home back to the community. That's when Billy Johnson noticed tour buses stopping in front of the vacant house and turned it into a restaurant.
My mom and I, who's a Red Seal chef, and I decided we weren't quite ready to not work anymore. I had 2 young kids, so we decided to put the restaurant in here.
Kipling will celebrate the red paperclip anniversary next summer because that will be 20 years since it made the final trade. The community is still making plans, but it might invite all 14 traders to the town for a reunion and a thank you for placing Kipling on the map. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Kipling.
A new partnership between two Saskatchewan companies looking to create opportunities in the ag tech and food technology sectors. Keen Sorkon has more on what the partnership means for the province.
The Food Centre and Connexus Credit Union's Cultivator are looking to lean on each other to help agriculture and food technology startups make once-in-a-lifetime ideas become reality.
To really highlight Saskatchewan as a place where they can grow their company and be successful is a huge opportunity.
The two incubators signed a memorandum of understanding to maximize those opportunities and help support ag tech in Saskatchewan rather than have entrepreneurs working in silos. This includes referrals to one another and supporting and collaborating on programs and workshops.
If we can help the companies to become more successful, produce more products, create more revenue, and create more jobs, it'll be better for the province.
Cultivator helps startups grow their companies and connect them to needed investment, while the Food Centre does research and manufacturing to get products to market. In light of a changing political and economic climate with the United States President Donald Trump threatening a number number of tariffs on Canadian products, there's been a large emphasis of growing Canadian industries within, and neither group could ignore the opportunity before them.
But we can only do that by increasing our manufacturing capacity instead of selling the commodities elsewhere.
The partnership will also help stretch dollars between the two companies rather than be on the constant search for new investment, while making Saskatchewan the ideal place to grow the next great idea. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Markets both on the way down. A TSX down 116 points, Dow Jones by 165. The Canadian dollar, it went up 0.03 of a cent to 73.12 cents U.S. On the commodity front, gold down $34.59. West Texas Intermediate crude was up 43 cents. Western Canadian Select crude up a little more, 85 cents. It went up today. And gas right now has stayed the same in Regina. It's at $1.31.9 per liter.
The Competition Bureau has Amazon under the microscope, investigating whether the online retailer broke rules of competition. More specifically, if it prevents sellers from selling for less on other platforms. Amazon says its tools are designed to enable customers to make informed purchase decisions. The Bureau also has another open case on Amazon looking at possible false or misleading claims. The Bureau announcement comes on the first of 4 Amazon Prime Days. That's when the e-commerce platform deeply discounts products. Analysts predict it could net Amazon almost $24 billion over the 4 days. But others say consumers are still concerned about the economy and may not spend as much. The average rent for a residential property in June dropped close to 3%. This is coming from rentals.ca and Urbanation. The asking rent for June was just over $2,100. Rent in major Canadian cities are seeing the steepest declines, but the trend is moving into smaller communities. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, E-Talk at 7, followed by 3 Big Bang Theories. Then we have that Amazing Race Canada, the opening episode of season 11 at 9 o'clock, Battle of Generations, and then you've got national and local news. Well, proof once again you can build almost anything with Lego.
A life-size replica of the McLaren Formula One car driven by Lando Norris is going on display in England. This just days after Norris won the British Grand Prix for the first time. The Lego version of the F1 car was built from nearly 400,000 Lego bricks and weighs around 2,400 kilograms. A team of 6 expert model makers spent 1,800 hours putting it together, and the replica is capable of reaching speeds up to 20 kilometers an hour.
Yep, you can actually drive it.
Would you drive?
I wish we would see it move, but no, unfortunately not.
And an Ottawa resident is battling some rather intense trash bandits.
Yeah. Take a look at this video shared on social media. Those raccoons are smart. Man says set up a camera to figure out how they keep getting into the green bin. So clearly, they've got it figured out. One of them tips it over and goes to the other side and opening the handle that's designed technically to keep animals out, but nah, he knows how to open it.
They're such clever animals.
Just got to flip it open, and eventually his friends are eager to join in as soon as he gets it open, and that's it.
Feasting on some garbage for the night.
Raccoon restaurant right there for you.
They're kind of cute, though. I don't know. Is that just me?
Yeah, but you don't want to get into a fight with one of those raccoons, that's for sure.
Don't they have rabies?
They can be feisty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, nothing, you won't find that here.
Not sniffing through your garbage?
I hope not.